The concept of a Satanic New World Order has been a topic of discussion among conspiracy theorists for decades. According to this ideology, a group of powerful individuals and organizations are working together to create a one-world government that would control every aspect of people's lives. Recently, some proponents of this theory have suggested that the Satanic New World Order is using climate change propaganda to further their agenda and oppress the masses. Proponents of this theory argue that the idea of climate change is being used as a tool to manipulate public opinion and implement policies that would ultimately lead to a loss of individual freedoms. They claim that the Satanic New World Order is using climate change as a pretext to impose strict regulations on businesses and individuals, thereby controlling every aspect of people's lives. For instance, they argue that the push for renewable energy sources is actually applied to create a monopoly on energy production, thereby giving the New World Order control over the livelihoods of individuals. Furthermore, they argue that the climate change agenda is being used to justify the implementation of a global tax, which would be used to fund the New World Order's agenda. This tax, they claim, would be used to redistribute wealth from the developed world to the developing world, thereby creating a more equal society. However, they argue that this would actually lead to a loss of economic freedom, as individuals would be forced to pay taxes to support a global government. Another argument made by proponents of this theory is that the climate change agenda is being used to justify the implementation of strict population control measures. They claim that the New World Order believes that the world is overpopulated, and that climate change is being used as a pretext to implement policies that would reduce the global population. For example, they argue that the push for veganism and reduced meat consumption is actually applied to reduce the population, as a vegan diet is often associated with reduced fertility. In addition, proponents of this theory argue that the climate change agenda is being used to justify the suppression of free speech and the imposition of a strict, authoritarian regime. They claim that anyone who questions the climate change narrative is labeled as a denier and is subject to ridicule and persecution. This, they argue, is a classic tactic of the New World Order, which seeks to silence dissenting voices and impose its will on the population. However, it is essential to note that there is no credible evidence to support the existence of a Satanic New World Order. While it is true that there are powerful individuals and organizations that seek to shape global policy, there is no evidence to suggest that they are working together to create a one-world government. Moreover, the overwhelming scientific consensus is that climate change is real, and that it is primarily caused by human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation. In conclusion, while the idea that the Satanic New World Order is using climate change propaganda to oppress us may seem like a compelling narrative, it is essential to approach this topic with a critical and nuanced perspective. The evidence suggests that climate change is a real and pressing issue that requires a collective response. Rather than attributing climate change to a sinister plot by a Satanic New World Order, we should focus on working together to reduce our carbon footprint and create a more sustainable future for all. By doing so, we can create a better world for ourselves and future generations, rather than perpetuating baseless conspiracy theories.